by implementing key reforms to facilitate ease of doing business and focusing its budget on providing high-quality infrastructure. Rwanda has shown the world that Africa can have its own global leaders. Many analysts now call Rwanda the Singapore of Africa. Day by day, this name grows in relevance. Let's look at the things that have made Rwanda become what it is today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel InfoDesk in case you are new here, and do the likes, share and commenting. The notifications bell will also let you know whenever we upload a video so that you miss nothing. Thank you. Certain countries such as Taiwan, South Korea or Singapore have famously risen out of poverty thanks to capitalism. These countries are now world class or first world class countries, developed and having their developed market economies, and soon Rwanda will be joining their ranks. The country is one of the most striking examples of a relatively poor landlocked country rising out of poverty and tragedy into success. About 30 years ago, few people would have predicted that Rwanda would become a success story. The country had gone through an incomprehensibly horrible genocide, which saw its most capable and educated citizens slaughtered. The country had hundreds of thousands of refugees and was marred in absolute poverty. It was landlocked, surrounded by volatile and unreliable neighbors such as the Democratic Republic of Congo, Tanzania, Uganda and Burundi. However, it has overcome its circumstances, and today the country is considered one of the least corrupt and most stable countries in Africa, ranking at number 49 list corrupt countries over the 180 countries analyzed by Transparency International in the year 2020 edition of its annual corruption perception index. And Rwanda ranks higher than countries such as Switzerland and Japan on the most recently published Ease of Doing Business report from the World Bank. Rwanda has experienced explosive GDP growth, emulating patterns previously seen only in Asia's tiger economies such as China. The country now stands as a bright example of what a country can achieve in similar circumstances. It is a reminder that with the free market policies and stable government, countries can thrive even under the most dire crises. Between the years 1990 to 1994, Rwanda's GDP fell from approximately $2.5 billion to a low of $750 million according to the World Bank. And as a result of this war and genocide, 78% of the population now lived below the poverty line. The average Rwandan's life expectancy had been shortened to approximately 28 years. Oh, what a terrible lifestyle. However, as the Rwandan Patriotic Front consolidated power throughout the rest of the 1990s, they were forced to rebuild the country's institutions and infrastructure from scratch. The years after the genocide from 1994 until 2000 were so harsh and chaotic for Rwanda, and roughly 10% of the population had died as a result of the genocide. At least 2 million refugees had been displaced, and the economy had been shattered, and social trust evaporated. The chaos would finally be brought to an end when Paul Kagame, the former leader of the Rwandan Patriotic Front, ran for president in 2001. In many ways, the election of Paul Kagame can be seen as a turning point for Rwanda. His attention to detail would reverse corruption, and his appreciation for markets would make Rwanda attractive for business. Under his leadership, Rwanda would not only rebuild what it had lost, but also exceed all its past achievements. In order to accomplish such goals, the Kagame-led government drafted a list of long-term goals for the country in the early 2000s. The most important would be for Rwanda to achieve middle-income status by 2020. At current growth rates, this goal will be achieved right on the schedule by 2021 or 2022, though it has not been achieved, but it's on its way. In today's video, we are going to look at some of the factors that have led to Rwanda's being called the Singapore of Africa. Number 1 is the ease of doing business. According to the World Bank's ease of doing business indicators, Rwanda has quickly jumped to number 29 in the world, with Mauritius being the only African country with a higher ranking. That puts Rwanda in number 2 or in the second place in the doing business. As a comparison, Rwanda's ease of doing business score surpasses that of highly developed countries such as Japan and Switzerland. Paul Kagame, Rwanda's long-time president, has gone on record to say that he wishes Rwanda to become the Singapore of Africa, a stable gateway to trade for the entire continent. The Heritage Foundation's Economic Freedom Index ranks Rwanda as number 32 worldwide, ahead of first world countries like France, Belgium, Italy, and Spain. Another factor relating to its growth is the development of infrastructure and industries. On October 7, 2019, the very first smartphone manufacturing plant on the African continent began operations, run by a subsidiary of Mara Group. It sources all of its materials from around the African continent and manufactures phones from the motherboard to all the way to packaging. A similar success story can be found the choices on the international auto giant Volkswagen, which opened up its production facility inside the Kigali Special Economic Zone. In the early 2018, Volkswagen expanded into Rwanda with a $20 million production plant. This facility has a capacity to produce over 5,000 vehicles per year and employs over 1,000 people, mostly the Rwandans. Another example of Rwanda's focus on innovation is the Kigali Innovation City, a 70-hectare piece of land project kickstarting the region's competitiveness in the digital services sector. Situated as an attachment to the Kigali Special Economic Zone, Kigali Innovation City is designed as a hub of educational institutions meant to facilitate the transfer of knowledge and skills to Rwandan students and professionals. As a result, Carnegie Mellon University opened its newest African campus there in 2018. It has a capacity of 300 students who can choose a master's studies program in either information technology or electrical and computer engineering. This project cost over $2 billion. A total of $400 million has already been pledged by the infrastructure investment group Africa 50. Kigali Innovation City fits nearly into the government's Vision 2020-2050 programs, including the National Strategy for Transformation. In the future, the Kigali Special Economic Zone will also house the Digital Innovation Precinct, a non-academic tech hub focusing on digital technology, ICT, and similar services-oriented areas. The country has also invested heavily in healthcare, making significant progress, whereby it has made use of drones to supply blood to remote areas of the country, helping to save lives that otherwise would have perished. The country has also seen investments in education, ICT, transportation, and power production, all meant to attract more investment in the country. We cannot say everything right now, but one thing speaks for all. The leadership in Kigali has done so much to foster economic development in Rwanda, earning the landlocked country the nickname the Singapore of Africa. Appreciations to you all who have been following. Please keep it up. Don't forget to subscribe once again. We meet in the next video. Bye bye.